Micronesia since 1938. Matson and the Adahi Tano program. Cars Plus, home of Guam's first and only lifetime limited powertrain warranty. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it, and King's Restaurants, always open, always local, and serving up favorites for over 40 years.
Coming up on Primetime, another Guamanian life is gone after complications due to COVID-19, the 72nd such death of the coronavirus pandemic. Also, members of our island's LGBTQ community give their reactions to the church's comments on same-sex civil unions. And testimony was considered on legislation proposing to allow restaurants to sell takeout alcohol.
Hafide and good evening, everyone. More grim news to start off the show tonight. A 28-year-old man was admitted to Guam Regional Medical City on Sunday and passed away just before 10:30 p.m. He marks the island's latest COVID-19 related death. According to the Joint Information Center, the man tested positive upon admission and had underlying health conditions complicated by the coronavirus. He marks the 72nd person to pass away as a result of COVID-19. Governor Lou Leon Guerrero offered her condolences, saying, "This young man was too young, far too young. We cannot forget that none of us are immune from this virus. It has taken so much from us already, and it will continue to if we do not remain vigilant. You may not feel sick, but the choices you make could be the difference between life and death for those around you." And here's the latest COVID results from the JIC reported on Sunday. 41 tested positive out of 254 samples from the public health lab. There are currently 1,642 active cases, while over 2,500 people have recovered. To date, 4,216 people have been infected with the coronavirus since just this March. Over the weekend, there were 5 more COVID hospitalizations. The GMH census for today shows 70 COVID patients are hospitalized. According to Administrator Lillian Posadas, 15 are receiving ICU level of care, with 5 of the patients currently on ventilator support. Of the 70 hospitalized, 11 remain at the CIF in Barragata Heights. And additional residents from the Department of Youth Affairs were tested for COVID today after several positive cases were confirmed over the weekend. As we reported, 2 DYA residents and 5 officers became infected. DYA Director Melanie Brendan says so far no additional officers have tested positive, and the 2 residents have since been transferred to their isolation unit.
We had scheduled testing for the officers on Saturday, and it just so happened that on Saturday, the youth residents had reported that they weren't feeling well. They had body aches and headaches, and so since we were already testing, we just added them to the list.
Brennan says the 2 officers and 2 residents ages 17 and 18 are recovering. In the meantime, she has reached out to DOC to help cover down.
And because this particular surge has affected one particular shift, I did ask for assistance, and he was able to provide 1 officer for this current shift.
The results are still pending from today's testing of the residents. And last week, 2 firefighters with the Guam Fire Department tested positive for COVID-19. Both had contracted the virus within their households. According to GFD spokesman Kevin Riley, one is assigned to the Umatic Fire Station, and the other is detailed to the Incident Command Post at GFD headquarters. They're currently at home in isolation, with one experiencing symptoms. Decontamination was done at both locations. Firefighters at the Umatic Fire Station were tested and all came back negative. About 6 personnel at the ICP who were identified as close contacts will be tested tomorrow morning.
With the cohort quarantining, we're able to maintain the personnel on that shift without introducing new personnel or reassigning those personnel to other divisions. So keeping them together ensures that if there was any contact, that it doesn't spread outside of that group. We do make sure that the personnel understand the importance, not only for us, for our responders, but the people that we treat, our infection control specialists and our guys on the field that are following those protocols and following those guidelines from DPHSS.
Riley says test results will determine if GFD will need to adjust its scheduling for the ICP. He adds that because of COVID-19, personnel may need to take extra safety measures, which means that their response is more defined.
There might be times when it looks like, you feel like your emergency is not being taken care of because our guys need to do those extra precautions. They need to suit up. They need to gown up, when they're responding to a surveillance case or a person under investigation or a COVID positive case. They have to understand that it's going to be a more detailed response that requires a little more time.
He says GFD thanks the community for its continued support. After a brief relocation Saturday morning, operations are back to normal at the 911 center in Agana Heights. On Friday, dispatchers from both the police and fire departments were relocated after a GFD civilian support employee tested positive. Police dispatch operations were moved to GPD headquarters in Tidzan, and GFD dispatchers were moved to the GFD headquarters in Hagåtña to allow for deep cleaning and sanitization of the 911 center. According to GFD spokesperson Riley, dispatchers were situated at the GFD Incident Command Post, but were only there from Friday evening to early Saturday morning. Meanwhile, dispatchers that may have been exposed to the positive case are set to be tested tomorrow morning. The positive case, meanwhile, remains in home isolation. And the Guam Power Authority's Hagåtña satellite at the Hulali Center was reopened today. The location was closed for deep cleaning and sanitizing after an employee tested positive for the virus. GPA Communications Manager Art Perez says the employee remains in home isolation and GPA continues to follow COVID protocols and guidelines. Perez adds that customers can pay their bills online or on the GPA app for a contactless customer experience. And it's a rare sighting these days in Tumon. Long lines of customers waiting to go shopping at the DFST Galleria. The Tumon luxury store opened its doors for the first time in 7 months today, but on a limited basis. According to DFS Group Mid-Pacific Vice President of Operations Charles Bell, the T Galleria will be open from this week until October 31st.
Our game as well, and of course, everyone will wear masks and we have hand sanitizers everywhere. But on top of that, for the first time, we actually created some back of house with some UV lights, so that everything you are going to try, we are going to quarantine it if you don't buy it. So the store is going to be super safe to shop. If you want to try a bag, you want to try a jacket, after you leave, we're going to quarantine this item in a UV light room. So it's going to be super safe for the next person to try it on.
Customers are urged to practice social distancing while waiting in line. The store will be open from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. until this Saturday, with deep discounts ranging from 80 to 90% off of luxury brands. A bill to change the law and allow restaurants to sell alcohol for takeout went through a public hearing today. The measure by Senator Joe San Agustin is being pushed by the restaurant industry and business groups, but some bar owners spoke out in opposition. Restaurants have been hit hard by the pandemic, both by the shutdown of indoor dining and the space limitations when diners were allowed inside. And they say takeout alcohol sales would be a welcome new profit center. GHRA President Mary Rhodes.
We strongly believe that this measure will enable restaurants that serve alcoholic beverages to boost their revenues, hopefully enough to keep most of their staff employed during this pandemic.
She says some 44 states have adopted laws that allow for this. But bar owner Roxanne Beneventi argues that it's not fair to her industry, which has been closed for 7 months, which restaurants will be competing against.
We collectively have thousands and thousands of employees. And as far as the ABC laws that have not been updated in several decades, that's false. We lost the age limit, I think we all remember, used to be 21, and our closing hour was 4 o'clock. If alcohol is so essential, then why can't the bars open with restrictions at a lower percentage? It's essential for restaurants, but it's not essential for bars? That doesn't seem right to me.
Alcoholic Beverage Control Chairman Renee Lanetta says they've reviewed the bill.
Can we change the law so that everybody, bars and anyone can do that? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a senator. But from our perspective, specifically restaurants, we've seen it physically, how it would be packaged. It's part of the law. What we're doing is changing it so that the law and the packaging come together to allow a certain portion of the business industry to survive and continue to sell. And it is my belief that this will work.
The bill would not change any of the current prohibitions, such as drinking inside a motor vehicle and many other safeguards. The church has not changed its views on same-sex unions. This morning on The Link, members of the LGBTQ community gave us their take on what they view as a somewhat divisive letter from the Archbishop of Hagåtña. Here's more.
On October 22nd, national media outlets cited comments made by Pope Francis in regards to same-sex civil unions. Archbishop Michael Burns took a firm stance on the matter, saying that the statement has little ecclesiastical weight and does not alter church teaching. Guam Pride founder and president Lacia Casil says there needs to be some accountability to have any credibility.
You guys talk about transparency and accountability with our government and being open, yet they sweep Bishop Apparin away, and there's zero accountability, for all the injustices that he committed here on Guam, and they're hiding him in the Vatican.
Casil added that the church should focus its energy on more pressing issues in the community.
Suicide is the leading cause of death in youth ages 10 to 24, and in the LGBTQ youth, the rate is 2 times higher. We need support from our church supporting our youth. Our youth are attempting suicides. When they're discriminated from their families, they're kicked out, they're homeless. We need support from our church for things like this. Where is the support? Where's the love from our Archbishop supporting things like this? This is what he should focus on instead of throwing rocks in glass houses.
Other members of the LGBTQ community like Glenn Lujan believe that there needs to be a dialogue between the Archbishop and the LGBTQ community.
I understand his role. He needs, of course, we still have to uphold the Catholic teachings and stuff, but I think maybe he needs to be a little bit more understanding and talk to us, meet us in the community, meet who we are and what we do.
And for those ready to offer up their opinion on members of the LGBTQ community speaking on church affairs, Lujan says, don't go there.
Don't go there, girlfriend. Because there are a lot of people in our community. What keeps the churches beautiful? The gay community, who's singing in the choirs, the LGBTQ community. So please, if anyone that's going to, don't even go there.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Peter Santos.
Meanwhile, a new local group called Equality Guam launches this week. It's part of an international organization aimed at developing and advocating for legislation, rules, and regulations in government programs for the LGBTQ community. On Wednesday, the group is hosting a call to action event at 5:30 p.m. via Zoom. A panel will discuss the impact of the U.S. Supreme Court on LGBTQ rights. Again, here's spokesperson Lacia Casil.
So we're not asking for more rights than anyone. We're asking for the same rights. We're, going to reach out to our network of people and bring them in and make sure that we create a safe place for the future, our youth here on island.
By Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio. For more information, you can visit the Equality Guam Facebook page. We're going to take a short break and be back with more news right after this.
Social distancing may be the new norm, but connection will always be our tradition. Through good times and tough times, we remain connected with you. Masks may be the new fashion, but protection will always be our style. You can always count on us to protect the things that matter the most. Sanitizing may be the new routine, but caring will always be our practice. We care about your loved ones and the things you value the most. And as we welcome our new normal, one thing remains certain: we will always be here for you. We're open and ready to serve you. Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust.
As a kid, your dad always taught you new things. As an adult, he probably still does. Pedro just got his very first paycheck from his very first job. The only trouble is, he's not sure exactly how to deposit his check into his account. But Dad, as usual, knows exactly what to do. Using a Bank of Guam tutorial, Dad teaches Pedro how to access his money without ever stepping foot in the bank. There are many ways we can show our love, and teaching is one. Find easy-to-use online banking tutorials at bankofguam.com or on our Instagram and Facebook pages. Bank of Guam, member FDIC.
Half a day, my name is Jeanette Guzman Chrysostom and I'm voting for Joe S. San Agustin.
Half a day, I'm Ryan Babalta and I'm voting for Joe S. San Agustin.
Mabuhay! Ako po si Micaela Silorio at boboto ko si Joe S. San Agustin.
Half a day, my name is Diana Mtenko Garrido and I'm voting for Joe.
Half a day, my name is Joe Cabana. I humbly ask my friends and families to please join me in voting Joe Shimizu San Agustin.
I'm Senator Joe Shimizu San Agustin and I approve this message.
My name is Mike Kilaiko. I had this sign at my house in the 2018 election. I supported Michael San Nicolas because I really believed that he was the leader that we needed. I put my life and business on pause and worked for him in Guam and Washington, D.C. And I got to know what kind of person he really was. He doesn't respect or care for ordinary people. He's an expert in Facebook, but he will not face our people. He is more about promoting himself than promoting us. We need someone who can be honest and trustworthy and work hard for us every day. A leader who respects our veterans and cares for the needs of our Manumku and Manhoban. Robert Underwood is an experienced and trusted leader who respects and listens to us. We need a leader who is honest and trustworthy. This is why I am ready for Robert Underwood for Congress.
I'm Robert Underwood, and I approve this message.
KUAM News, winner of the 2020 Regional Edward R. Murrow Award for Excellence in Social Media.
Welcome back. As a deterrent to growing Chinese incursions in the Indo-Pacific and regional waters, the White House announced over the weekend its plans to beef up Coast Guard operations in Guam and throughout Micronesia. National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien made the announcement, saying China's continued illegal fishing and harassment of vessels is endangering regional stability, which he says directly threatens our collective security and economic prosperity.
The good news is that President Trump is deeply committed to a free and open Indo-Pacific region and is taking decisive action to counter the CCP's aggression.
That action is the construction of 2 new fast response Coast Guard cutters that will be based on Guam to help patrol the exclusive economic zone. O'Brien says expansion of a Western Pacific presence will also serve as a deterrent to Chinese military incursions in the Indo-Pacific.
Obviously, we're not seeing threats to American Samoa or CNMI or Guam the same way as we're seeing the threats and the bullying by China, the People's Republic of China against Taiwan. But we are seeing increased activity in the second island chain and throughout the Indo-Pacific from the Chinese Communist Party, from the PLA Navy is patrolling the area far more.
The 154-foot cutters can patrol some 2,500 nautical miles and remain in the open ocean for up to 5 days. We also asked Ambassador O'Brien about the recent reopening of the Taipei Economic and Cultural Office in Guam. The Chinese government has been sensitive to U.S.-Taiwan relations as it has long viewed Taiwan as a renegade province.
We don't see anything provocative about that, but we are going to stand by and help our friends in Taiwan do the things they need to do to make a living and conduct business. And they've got some of the great businesses in the world, especially in the semiconductor area. And we want to make sure that they have opportunities to travel and do the things they need to do. And we don't see any reason for the Communist Party of China to be upset with that sort of thing.
The Taipei office in Guam reopened last week after being shut down for more than 2 years. He is described as a violent offender and wanted for questioning in connection to an assault, family violence, and terrorizing case. Police are asking for your help in locating 36-year-old Ray Alfred Munoz. He is believed to be avoiding authorities and could be armed, so do not approach him and call police instead. He was last seen around Ipan Village Mart in Talofofo driving a 2009 primer gray Toyota Corolla with a license plate SJ39. If you have any information on Munoz's whereabouts, you're urged to call GPD Dispatch at 472-8911 or 475-8615-7. You can also submit information anonymously to GuamCrimeStoppersWeb.com. A man wanted by police last week for a criminal sexual conduct complaint was arrested on Sunday. 20-year-old Dustin Shane Takeout is accused of accosting a 17-year-old woman while she was jogging around 5:30 a.m. on Route 2 in Agate. She saw a man running a few hundred feet in front of her, who later came from behind and grabbed her. The victim was able to break away and started recording the defendant on her cell phone as she told him to leave her alone. That's when Takeout reportedly threatened to rape her. He pulled her into a nearby jungle area, but the victim was able to struggle free and flag down a passing car. Takeout was charged with assault with intent to commit criminal sexual conduct as a third-degree felony, fourth-degree criminal sexual conduct as a misdemeanor, and unlawful restraint. He was booked and confined. After an all-points bulletin was issued by police, a stolen vehicle reported on October 17 was located at a residence in Jigo on Friday. According to court documents, the vehicle was found in Philip Tenorio's possession. Officers also discovered 2 small plastic bags containing white crystalline substances suspected to be meth within a black pouch with Tenorio's driver's license. He reportedly told officers, quote, "That's mine, don't get that involved." A field test resulted in a presumptive positive for methamphetamine. When asked about the stolen vehicle, Tenorio said, "I'll take the blame." He was charged with possession of a Schedule II controlled substance as a third-degree felony and theft by receiving as a second-degree felony. He was booked and confined. And Governor Lulian Guerrero and Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio signed a proclamation declaring October 26th to the 30th as Port Week. The port was established on October 31st, 1975, and has since been one of Guam's major assets, with more than 90% of the island's goods flowing through the port. And despite the COVID-19 pandemic, it has remained 100% operational, providing goods and supplies to our island community. As we celebrate the port frontliners for the vital role that they play, we also wish them a happy 45th anniversary. And the Guam chapter of the American Red Cross wrapped up the first week of Red Ball in a Box. It partnered with the Micronesian Chefs Association to bring culinary masterpieces to your doorstep. Chairman of the Guam chapter, Marcus Fong, explains. So far, almost 600 orders have been placed. Each chef has been given a set menu to put their culinary twist on a 4-course meal. Folks that ordered for this week will get to taste Chef Peter of Mezcla's take on the dishes. American Red Cross Guam Chapter Chief Executive Officer, Cheetah Blaze.
Broke ground with this Red Ball in a Box because of the pandemic. And we are just so inspired by the response of the community. It is so overwhelming.
Wow. There are still a few slots available for Chef Peter Duenas' Mezcla's dishes. Chef Mirko of the Hyatt will be closing it out next week. You can place your orders on the Red Ball Guam Facebook page as well as Instagram at Red Ball Guam. And now time for our weekly Fanatic Zoom Zone segment, where Dave Delgado catches up with local NFL fans about their love for the game and predictions for the season.
Welcome to this week's Fanatic Zoom Zone with me, diehard Ravens fan, Vinny Blas. Now, first off, tell us when the love for your team first started.
All right, man. Back in '96, man, we drafted a rookie out of Miami by the name of Ray Lewis. And ever since then, man, it's been on.
And let's talk about game day traditions.
Man, the game trade is kind of hard because when the games are on at like 3 in the morning, it's hard to do our thing. But I like the night games. We got all hyped up, man. I put on like 3 jerseys, 1 for offense, 1 for defense, 1 for special teams. Got to get the drink on, of course, especially with the night games.
Which team do you look forward to facing every season?
Oh, it's got to be the Steelers, man. Can't stand them. Can't stand them.
Top 2 all-time favorite players.
Got to be Ray Lou, man. Ray Lou, and I'll go with Ed Reed. But we got this guy coming up. Lamar's coming up. Well, my top 2 is definitely Ray Lewis and Ed Reed.
And we'll be back with a look at this week's weather. Keep it here.
Your community calendar is brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your fourth meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live Mas.
I know that declaring war on corruption is an invitation for hurtful attacks and half-truths against me and my service to the people. But I also know the people of Guam are stronger and smarter than these dishonest players whose misdeeds and acts of corruption have cost us millions in political payoffs this year alone. If we allow corruption to continue, we all lose. Let's put an end to corruption. Vote Joanne Brown for Senator. My name is Joanne Brown and I approve this message, paid for by the committee to elect Joanne M. Brown for Senator.
Looking really good.
Hafide Guam, this is Telo Tairiwi. Fighting for you has been my honor, regardless of the politics and the challenges we faced. I've worked hard every day to improve GMH facilities, fund security cameras for public safety, support road repairs, and call out legislation and decisions that break the people's trust in government. The fight for these priorities isn't over. It's just begun. I'm Telo Tairiwi. I approve this message and humbly ask for your vote. Situs Masi, maraming salamat po. Thank you, Guam.
My name is Mike Kilaiko. I had this sign at my house in the 2018 election. I supported Michael Sinicolas because I really believed that he was the leader that we needed. I put my life and business on pause and worked for him in Guam and Washington, D.C. And I got to know what kind of person he really was. He doesn't respect or care for ordinary people. He's an expert in Facebook, but he will not face our people. He is more about promoting himself than promoting us. We need someone who can be honest and trustworthy and work hard for us every day. A leader who respects our veterans and cares for the needs of our Manumku and Manhoban. Robert Underwood is an experienced and trusted leader who respects and listens to us. We need a leader who is honest and trustworthy. This is why I am ready for Robert Underwood for Congress.
I'm Robert Underwood, and I approve this message.
Welcome back. Here's a look at this week's rainy weather forecast with Landon Aidlet from the National Weather Service.
I'm going to turn you around again and look out my office window. We do have some showers here at the Weather Service office, and this is going to be the theme for the day, probably through at least the evening overnight hours, as we have a tropical disturbance passing by well to our south. That is the good news, and we've had a lot of messages to our Facebook page asking if there's a storm in the region, but the good news is there is no tropical storm or typhoon in our region. At this point, we do have a weak disturbance passing by well to our south. We were watching that materialize over the last week, and we were concerned about it coming close to Guam, passing over us or the CNMI this weekend, but it kept well to the south, and that has been the trend. And so we're going to be watching that as it exits our region. That disturbance is Invest Area 99W, and again, that is no threat for development for Guam or the CNMI, as it will move off towards the west-northwest and towards the Philippines. So what do we have here locally? Well, we have a lot of showers and thunderstorms. Again, if we have or look back to last week, we were talking about the clouds. This is the infrared satellite imagery showing the cloud top temperatures. This is where your highest cloud tops are with those cooler temperatures. This is where the deep convection is going on right now. There's some showers and thunderstorms there. We have spotty showers here, as we can see outside our window, but as far as the lightning potential, it looks like it's kind of minimized at this point for the morning. Can we see more deep convection later today across the island? That's certainly the case, as we have this juicy pattern overhead, more convection over the CNMI. I'm going to throw up the wind streamlines here, and this is what we're looking at. These are the wind speeds or the wind directions across the region. This little feature, that wave right there, that's a surface trough. That's going to be pushing through our area, and that's linked to the disturbance farther south, that broad circulation here. It's a very weak disturbance, a weak circulation, and the good news is that's going to be tracking off towards the west-northwest. So we're going to have a little bit of slop across the region through tonight and tomorrow. but not all that bad. Now, looking at the upper levels, these are the surface winds. I'm going to throw up the upper atmospheric winds. And when we have these two features together, we have the convergence at the surface and divergence aloft. You have an upper level trough here. These winds are diverging there. So that's kind of like a vacuum to help pull that moisture and the convection from the surface up to the higher atmosphere. And that's helping generate that deep storms. So we're going to take those off. And this is where we're animate it. So we can see all that stuff pushing through. So it's going to be juicy today, off and on showers and thunderstorms, a lot of clouds, but cannot rule out a peak of sunshine here and there. But it's going to be generally wetter today than probably the next several days as that disturbance pushes off to the west. So again, 99W, that's rated low by the Joint Typhoon Warning Center for development to a tropical system over the next 24 hours. And that any development will occur once it has pushed away from us. Now I do have this chart up here. This is just basically some of the basics of tropical weather. You have the convergence at the surface. When the winds converge, it has nowhere to go except up. So you have your updrafts, you get those clouds, those towering cumulus clouds. Bree, there's going to be a test on this after our cloud chart discussion last week. When you have those updrafts, where does it go? It hits that stable layer in the atmosphere, so the clouds have to spread out. That's where you have your mature thundercloud or cumulonimbus. So these are just some of the basics. And those towering cumulonimbus can be upwards of 5,000 to 25,000 feet. And then on higher, when you have the strong updrafts supported by the upper level disturbance.
And we'll be back with your birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club. Don't go away.
Action Pack asks you, are you better off today than you were 2 years ago? It's time to create positive change. Take action, Guam, and stand with the pack in this 2020 election. Join us as we support candidates who help businesses restore the more than 30,000 jobs already lost. Guam needs leaders who support all the people of Guam. Let your voice be heard and vote with the pack. You may be one vote, but together we have the power to make a difference. Visit actionpackguam.com to learn more.
Our new McDonald's Spicy Chicken McNuggets are just the right amount of spicy. A small to medium Sprite kind of spicy. Let's get a McFlurry after this kind of spicy. But if you get the mighty hot sauce, it's a napkins up for foreheads now kind of spicy. This came from McDonald's kind of spicy? Because our Spicy Chicken McNuggets, breaded in tempura and made with cayenne, are just the right amount of spicy. Unless you remember what I said about the sauce. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I am the future.
We are the future. The future leaders.
Businesswomen.
Please keep us in mind
when you vote.
Don't choose more of the same.
John Ananich is unique and new.
Focus on the mission of making our island safer.
And securing our
future.
I
am the future. Vote for John Ananich.
For Senator!
Visit us at johnananich.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
I'm John Ananich, and I approve this message.
100% truck, 100% Jeep brand. The all-new Jeep Gladiator is the most capable off-road mid-size pickup truck crafted for adventure. Equipped with best-in-class towing capacity, legendary Jeep brand 4x4 capability, and backed by Guam's only lifetime powertrain warranty. Drive home in a brand new Jeep Gladiator today, starting as low as $283 per paycheck during Jeep Adventure Days. Call us at 477-7807 or visit our website at carsplusguam.com to get pre-approved today.
And as always, before we close out the news tonight, our latest round of birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
Happy birthday on this October 26th to Tegan, who celebrates birthday number 11. To our grandson, we are wishing you a terrific day. What great summer fun you had in the sun, and hope your first day back to school is just as awesome as you are. With love, with a heart in the O and love, that's very creative. Coming from Grandma Ree and your families on Guam, in Texas, in California, and in Washington State. That is a lot of love and support, so have a great 11th birthday, Tegan. Napu Lazana has a birthday today, so happy birthday number 3 to our Napu boy. You get love from your entire family. And everybody, if you see Napu, make sure to wave at Napu. Get it? Wave. Hey. Eva Hamamoto Sablan Akima, happy birthday to the bravest mother I've known, going downrange to support all branches of the armed forces for 31 years. We are here for you, Mom. Thank you for being so strong by our sides. Happy birthday. With tremendous love, your husband, Takeo Sayama Akima, and the children. And from all of us at KUAM, we thank you for your service. Happy birthday, Eva. Siobhan Dominique Mingiola, happy birthday number 20 to my greatest gift and blessing. May your day be filled with lots of love and laughter coming from Mommy, Dad Dave, Sage, and Sebastian. And happy belated birthday wishes to Rayana Munoz Santos, who was born on the 24th. Happy birthday, love you, says your family. Also born on the 24th, Kaden Kanata Rosalind. Happy birthday to our middleman. We love you always, and we always will. Have a wonderful day. Love Dad, Mom, and your brothers. Yeah, there's a lot of people born on the 24th because Jerry Uggan also celebrates a birthday, a belated birthday on that day. Happy birthday, Daddy. We love you, say your wife and kids. And born on October the 25th, Joshi, Nelly, Jerry, and Judy. Happy 32nd birthday to the Quads. All four of them. Love your families. That's a lot of love. That's a lot of really cool birthdays. A lot of really cool Guamanians. So let's send them our very best. Let's wish them good health, good fortune, and a happy birthday.
That's our report for tonight. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, everyone.
News Extra, I want to thank you for watching wherever it is that you're watching, whether it's on TV8, TV11, on KUAM News Facebook page, or YouTube. Thank you so much. And what I like to do on my show, as I've said, is focus on groups or individuals that are doing good in the community, especially in this time where we could all use a little good in our lives. And joining me today is Juanita Blas from Island Girl Power. Juanita, long time no see. Hafa and welcome to the show.
Hafa.
Now, you
for
are
having
wearing
me.
your Island Girl Power shirt, and before we came on the show, you mentioned that this is your 20th anniversary. So first of all, happy anniversary to Island Girl Power.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Can you imagine that when you started this 20 years ago, that here you would be 2 decades on doing all this in the community, touching so many lives? Was this part of the plan all along, or did it just evolve and grow into what it is?
There was a plan also to expand into Micronesia. And it's a slow and tedious process, but we've been able to maintain the Guam location. And at times we've had 2 or 3 locations and sometimes 5 locations on the island. So it's doing what it's supposed to do. Honestly, this is just something that needs to be in the community.
Yeah, I agree.
Programs.
And for those that don't know, 20 years ago when you started up with this plan, what was the plan for Island Girl Power? Why did you get it started, and what is it that you do?
Geez, I was 26 and had 3 kids, all daughters, and another daughter on the way. So hence the Island Girl Power. But it was also a lot of the influences in the community. At the time, you couldn't go to a sports event or a concert, and some of it's still hard now. But you couldn't go to a fiesta or the Liberation Parade without seeing just inundated by alcohol signage, and even kids sports groups. So little kids, do the football and everything, and you saw it everywhere. There was no way around it. And so creating a place that focused on prevention, but also not just by lecturing. You can't bring a bunch of kids in and tell them, don't do this, don't do that. It's about bringing positive activities and hobbies and ways to cope. We need to teach them how to cope with the stresses, because it was also about suicide prevention. I got involved because of my kids, and I stayed because of my kids. No, and then my kids got bigger. It got to be the girls at the center, and the girls' brothers, and their cousins. So the kids kept me going. But a lot of it is it's survived this long, not just because of me, but because of the volunteers. We've had some of the most amazing people volunteer here at Island Girl Power.
Yeah, and you mentioned there lecturing to kids. Sometimes when you do that, the walls immediately go up. Like this adult is lecturing me. Oh, boring. But you, as you sit there in your garden, you give these girls creative outlets. You know, things working with their hands. Those crafts projects. Your beautiful garden that you have there. I see the dragon fruit in the background. It's something like that that kids really get to see the fruits of their labor, figuratively and literally. And so it really gives them kind of a goal, a mission, and something productive to do with their time.
Yes, and one of the core elements that we always wanted to have in the program was access to self-defense classes. And so it started with it started with Kempo Karate, and then Aikido, and then evolved into Capoeira. We had great Capoeira team. I think the Capoeira group is celebrating their 15th year on Guam. And Aikido, Akikai is still our partner, and they were coming in and doing sessions with us once or twice a year. So self-defense is important, but done in a way that teaches them it's really about how you carry yourself and who you put yourself around. You're not trying to overpower or build muscle to take someone down that's hurting you. It's about being smart and choosing to do the right thing.
Hafade, I'm Tony Atta. I'm running to be your senator in the 36th Guam legislature. Together, we will build a Guam with a more resilient and diverse economy. Together, we will make our neighborhoods safer for our families. Together, we will streamline government spending by passing a realistic, responsible budget. I'm Tony Atta, and I humbly ask for your vote. I'm number 7 on the Republican side of the ballot, and together we will. I'm Tony Atta, and I approve this message.
You could upgrade to the sparkly sprinkle pack on Cupcake Conquest. Or you could upgrade to all this. 2 crunchy tacos and a medium drink. Plus the beefy cheesy layers of the Grande Stacker Box. Only at Taco Bell.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
It makes myself and it makes my team members very proud to work for an organization that has been on island for many years, with its focus on reliability, dependability, and commitment to the communities that they operate in.
Matson's a great corporate citizen to the community.
We all benefit from any sort of environmental commitment we make. One of the ways that we do that is with our Adahi Utano program. There's action behind it, and so action breeds commitment.
With the Kaimana Hila coming to Guam, this brings a new age and modernization to the island.
It's exciting for me because it's a brand new ship and we can carry more freight into the islands. It just shows growth for Guam and Micronesia.
Matson would be nothing without its customers, and we hope to continue to serve you for decades to come.
Island Girl Power, it's right there in the name. You're giving these girls the power of confidence in themselves and how they handle situations, instead of making those poor decisions that maybe you'd not like them to make. You give them that power to make the right decisions. And how much of it is, aside from the physical aspect, is sitting down with these girls and just talking about that confidence issues, the self-esteem, to be the best that they can possibly be.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot with positive imagery, and it started from our very beginning days. We had People come in that talked about how media distorts females, pictures of females, and uh, smooths it up on the pictures, and now everybody can do it. Now everybody can do it. You have a filter, you can look 20 years younger. Oh, geez, imagine that. But it's a lot to compete with when the girls think that that's the image that they have to put out there 24 hours a day. They can do it online through pictures, through social media, but when it comes down to it, they need to learn how to love themselves. And a lot of us, a lot of the women volunteers have things that they need to work on also. So it's a good place for the community to heal. And I also get a lot of community service volunteers from the courts, juvenile and adult probation, and they're given a second chance to feel good about what they do for the community. They're part of our family too.
Yeah, your family has definitely grown in the past 20 years. And you brought up a good point there about, you have these girls in Island Girl Power and you teach them certain things about themselves. But what have you kind of learned about yourself, and how have you grown as an individual as you teach these young ladies?
Well, life is an ever evolving process. And I've learned to put more time into myself, and that sounds really selfish. I'm the selfless service honoree for you guys, and but at the end of the day, you can only give as much as you have, and it's good to spend some time taking care of you. And when we teach the girls how to cope, a lot of those lessons I've taken in for myself. Self-esteem and positive reinforcements, how we talk to ourselves every day. What do we say to ourselves when nobody else is around? Those are good messages for anybody. Butterflies.
Yeah, they are. And what you're doing there is a great message for the community and for girls out there as you're touring your garden now. When we are going to take a break right now, and when we come back, we're going to talk a lot more about Island Girl Power and Juanita Blas and everything that you have going on over there. So don't go anywhere. KUAM News Extra. We'll be right back.
Bye.
Half a day. I'm Elaine Tamanyel Johnson and I'm voting for Joe S. Sonagastine. Woohoo!
Half a day. Guahu si Joe Mesngun. Kugagagaham du Toru para un fanbota si Joe S. Sonagastine para senador.
Half a day. I'm Crystal Augustine. I'm from Malesu and I'm voting for Joe.
Ako si Winston Ilisito. Iboto natin si Joe San Agustin for Senator. Mamuhay!
I'm Senator Joe Shimizu San Augustine, and I approve this message.
Want a real taste of New York? The Big New Yorker is back with a big, bold taste and a sweet marinara sauce on a crust that's 30% larger than our large. Handmade to perfection. It's just $9.99 per carryout. The Big New Yorker, only at your Island Pizza Hut.
Back to KUAM News Extra, Juanita Blas from Island Girl Power, taking us on a little tour of the garden, which you're obviously very proud of. One thing I did want to talk about, Juanita, is everyone that I've interviewed in the past few months has had to deal with the pandemic, because most of the organizations I talk to, they mainly deal with face-to-face meetings with people, personal contacts with the people they're trying to help. So how have you kind of worked around that during this pandemic?
Well, it's been interesting because right off the bat in March, we shut down March 15th, and it was hard for the volunteers. It was hard for the girls. They were all kind of panicking. It was like, what does all of this mean? So much information and nothing really translated into kid language, So what we did was we put together family isolation activity kits.
Oh, okay.
And so it was fun putting them together. We used the resources that we had all over the center, art supplies, sports equipment. We gave out like 250 jump ropes. at the fence line, and those baskets. So books, man, you can't even imagine how many requests for books there were, just because families got to used to the internet, that they got rid of all their books, and now they got to find something to take the kids away from the internet and put some actual activities in front of them. We've also still continued to package items for Micronesia, and we're just waiting on shipping to open up so that so those items can go to our brothers and sisters in the islands. And other than that, we had groups of people making masks, and the cloth pads, unfortunately, we weren't able to continue. Bringing people into the center stopped. The only place that remained open for Island Girl Power for the participants was the community garden, and 27 garden plots, and the gardeners came and harvested their produce. So that was just more also a coping skill for them. You know, it's wonderful to come into your garden, and it's also a way to get food. So it was allowed under the lockdown guidelines because they're coming here for food. We've also partnered with PPE for Guam and had some people sewing masks for those distributions. And because of the way things are and our thrift stores closed, we had to fundraise by other means. And so planting and selling plants, and we were very, very fortunate to have a partner in Guam Home Center. They allow us to drop off plants, and I like to focus on food plants, food and medicine plants, and because the program is about sustainability, right? And they allow us to sell plants there, and they don't take anything off the top.
Oh wow,
They
that's
give
great
100%
of them.
to Island Girl Power, and that's very rare. So you know, if you go to Home Center and you see the plants there, and they're not looking so great, call me and tell me. but also, you know, if you're looking for something that is not there, then call me and you know, message me on whatever social media. Too many different social medias. But there's always a way to reach me, and we may have the plant here at the center, or we can source it out to some of our partners that are really nice about sharing plants.
So a lot of groups that I've talked to during the pandemic, they kind of had to shut everything down, and they just, you know, hey, went into a planning phase, so to speak. But you didn't do that. You kept on creating, you kept on keeping people active, distancing, of course, and limited, but you kept on doing it. So props to you and the entire team over there at Island Girl Power. We are going to take another break right now. When we come back, we're going to talk about how we can help. If you know, you have anything you'd like to donate, or services, or time, or if you want to sign up. So Island Girl Power, we're going to talk more about it when we come back.
Grab Taco Bell's Nachos Party Pack whenever you're dressing up to stay in, getting some brownie points, or witnessing a miracle. Sorry, Jess. Go big with delicious nachos topped with all your favorites. Nachos Party Pack, only at Taco Bell.
100% truck, 100% Jeep brand. The all-new Jeep Gladiator is the most capable off-road mid-size pickup truck crafted for adventure. Equipped with best-in-class towing capacity, legendary Jeep brand 4x4 capability, and backed by Guam's only lifetime powertrain warranty. Drive home in a brand new Jeep Gladiator today, starting as low as $283 per paycheck during Jeep Adventure Days. Call us at 477-7807 or visit our website at carsplusguam.com to get pre-approved today.
MTO Maintenance will now completely sanitize your home, office, or business with state-of-the-art commercial sprayers. For over 30 years, MTO Maintenance has been committed to the health and safety of our customers. And now, more than ever, a clean home, office, carpets, and furniture is a necessity to our island. Give us a call today. Stay healthy and stay safe, Guam.
Call 647-6861 for an appointment.
Uno Mixed. We're mixing it up on the last Thursday of every month with a look at lifestyle, entertainment, food, and so much more on the stations, networks, and digital platforms of KUAM Communications. Uno Mixed.
All right, welcome back to the show. Talking to Juanita Blas here, touring her garden in Island Girl Power. So there's always a need. You talked about all the things that you've been giving, you know, the masks, the plants, all these things that you've been putting out there, books and whatnot. But what is the need that you have if people out there are interested in donating, if they'd like to help out? What exactly are you looking for at the moment?
The toughest thing to ask for. It's got to be money. So we have to fundraise nearly $2,000 a month just to keep the utilities paid. We got into a contract with the internet phone service provider, and that has to be paid. The power and water, if I shut the air cons down here, everything will mold. So they're low and they're on conservation mode, but but they're still on. And this is 4 buildings here. You know, we have to pay our bills. I'm a volunteer. I've been a volunteer. Very few grants have come through in the 20 years to pay me. But at this moment, not even a percentage of my time is covered. So, but see this smile? I love my work.
And that's what I love about talking to you, Juanita, is that you're so passionate about this Island Girl Power. I mean, it's been your baby for 20 years now. And, you know, it's not about making money. It's about impacting those girls' lives and bringing that positivity to the community, which I think is super important. So we want you to keep the lights on. We want you to keep that aircon going. If anyone does want to donate, if they do have a checkbook, maybe their company would like to donate something. How can they go about doing that?
We can also do online on PayPal, our website, islandgirlpower.com. There's a donate button and it connects you to the PayPal. And for some people, you know, they don't believe in contributing to PayPal. So you can definitely contact me and we'll set up, you know, a meeting time to pick up a check or do something a little more formal.
Okay.
Also, you know, 20 years of Island Girl Power. If everybody can just give $20, $1 for every year that we've serviced the community, that would be cool. Because, you know, we don't expect everybody to be able to donate to cover our monthly bills, but a little bit from everyone really, really helps.
So, you know, I think it's such a valuable service you're providing there, and it is priceless to the community. So every little bit you said, like you said, it helps. And times are tough for everybody. We all know that, and we're all in this together. But I think the investment in Island Girl Power is going to pay off in, you know, tenfold in years down the line. So, Juanita, thank you so much. Is there anything you'd like to add before I let you go? Get back to your gardening.
Well, there is a campaign that we're continuing. It's Live Life Happy Garden. And we have a few more earth buckets and herb buckets for senior citizens. So when this airs, if you're one of the first 10 callers, you will get your free earth bucket. You have to be over the age of, 55 and over. And you need help to come and pick it up. You have my number, right?
Throw it out there again.
688-4752. And I'm saving these earth buckets for the viewers of this show.
Well, fantastic. Make sure you call this when you see it. And Juanita, again, on behalf of everyone in the community, I just want to thank you so much for all that you do and your entire team over there at Island Girl Power. We look forward to reaping the benefits of what you've been sowing over there for years to come. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, get back to your gardening.
This butterflies, how can I not? Geez.
What a day.
I'm
All
like,
right.
squirrel.
That
No,
is KUAM
distracted.
News
You take
Extra,
care.
everyone. Thank you so much for watching.
KUAM News, winner of the 2020 Regional Edward R. Murrow Award